Hello. So I'm doing a video now of points, important points, because I've had lots of emails asking me different questions and I'm going to answer them. Not that anyone's donated anything, and I wish you bloody would, because I've got no money. You can check my bank account. It said I had, what did it say, £0 and 1 pence. You've got to laugh, haven't you? And I rung them up on the free phone, because I ring them all the time. And he said, yes, you're not getting any money, not till next Monday, the Monday after it comes in. So I thought, what the fuck? But thank God I'm with these people in the camper van. So I'll be all right, thankfully. It's terrible, isn't it? I just feel so rough, do you know what I mean? So they're going to feed me and everything, but it's awful bothering people. It's terrible. I mean, the benefits they give you, you can't survive off. This is what they're doing to people now. That's point number one then. Lack of pay. You're not getting enough money to eat. So you're trapped in severe poverty. I can't cope with this anymore. I'd rather be dead. I'm willing to be euthanized. I just wish they'd have a bloody cyanide tablet in Boots, because I'd be the first to get it as soon as I got money. I'd bloody well take it off the shelf and bloody swallow it in front of everybody, because I'm that desperate. At least you'd be out of the fucking picture. Anyway, what was I going to say? This guy is going to meet me now Monday in Liverpool, and I've told him I've got no money for transport or anything. But they said they'd send me in a taxi from the camper van, and they're going to ring me on Monday morning, and they're going to send me in a taxi from the camper van, put makeup on me and everything, give me a good lunch, so I'll be all right on Monday. Anyway, that's besides the point. So number one is severe poverty that I'm trapped in now. I had no idea years ago my life would be like this. So you go back 10 years, I was in a flat in Haswell, really happy. My mother was giving me money every day. So I was very comfortable, because I would just have, I'd buy all my dinners from Marks every night. I'd have a lunch out. I'd eat out every day. I'd go on the bus just around Liverpool and stuff. And life was okay then. Do you know what I mean? Now it's absolutely horrific. Anyway, people now are trapped in severe poverty, not just me. And they expect you to live off, as people said, that people in the camper van, people just can't do it. That's why they're not in a house anymore, because they can't afford to be. Because she said you've got to pay council tax, gas, electricity, water, TV license. The list is endless. Then you have to eat, because you do have you're a human after all. And so you have no money. You don't get any clothing. You can't get your hair ever done. You can't do a thing, because you're trapped in severe poverty. And this is the type of life to lead. You could never have a holiday. You can never do this. You can never do that, because you're trapped in severe poverty. So this is what needs addressing in the country, really. It's disgusting. And I mean, the thing is, that guy below was above. You'd be above me now when you're on here, on my list. Are you above in the video above? And he's saying about Boris Johnson and everything, because the government and everything are deciding, yeah, it shouldn't be like this. Nobody should be on the streets sleeping rough in this day and age. We're meant to be a rich country. Third world countries are better off. They're homeless. They're not, because they can buy mud huts. They can build their own mud huts. We're not allowed to. If I go into a field and pick a nice field and started slapping mud up, which I couldn't physically because I'm too ill, but if somebody did it for me, they'd remove me from the field and knock it down. This is what you're up against here. They want you to stay outside and freeze to death and die. He's quite right about that. It's terrible. Anyway, point number two. Yes, about that rooms and about the corruption. Yeah. Yes, you're quite right about that. So, yeah. So the point was, yeah, that the cleaner, this cleaner that was there was a very nice lady and everything. And she was friendly with Kate. She lived with Kate, the manager who was there. And the manager was decent, because she knew I was insecure. And every month she would check on the thing that I would be booked into the hotel. She said, you've got 4 weeks now again, you're completely safe. And she knew that I was so worried about it. Anyway, as soon as she left, I wasn't booked in. No, this Keris didn't rebook me. I said, but they rebooked me. I remember telling her that. And she'd only have come to the end of your thing. But she was going to keep me to the end of the week. But the council, because they're so evil, kicked me out on the Monday, said you have to leave in the hour. So you imagine that. Say you're in your house now, and the bailiffs come to your house now, and you have to leave within the hour. How do you think you feel? You go insane. I thought I was going to have a heart attack. I couldn't breathe. I had a severe panic attack, and they wouldn't help me, and I had to do it all myself with severe arthritis. They're wicked. And I asked on the phone, they spoke to me, that dreadful woman, it was either Elisa or Rachel, you need crucifixes to deal with them. And I'm not joking, this is the God's honest truth. They're from Chester West Council, housing options, and they're demons from earth. They really are, these women. They're horrific, absolutely horrific, with no souls, no compassion whatsoever. And I said, well, can't you get a social worker? Do you have a social worker? So I said, no. Well, you can't get one. And this was it. So you have to be out within the hour and all this. It was terrible. Anyway, that Keris said, oh, try to get out by 6 o'clock, but she was no help at all. Anyway, she didn't care. And then they offered me this Mercure to be raped in. This is called the Rape Centre. It's known as the Mercure Hotel. It's an old hotel in the field, derelict. Just left there because it's all run down. It needs knocking down, refurbishing. It's in a bad way. And they put all the smackheads, they call them, heroin addicts, sex offenders, people from prison, mainly men in there. And it's very unfit and very unsafe. And you're definitely going to be mugged, raped and beaten to a pulp if you go in there. Because there's nobody monitoring it, nobody supervising. You've got some poor futures from the council. You know what they're like. They're just high on drugs themselves. So they're meant to be looking after you. My arse. So, I mean, you go in there, it's a danger. And I said, I can't possibly go there. And she said, oh, well, you've got nowhere else. I'd go there if I were you, she said. I said, but would you? I said, if you were in my position, would you go there? And she said, well, I don't have to. Those were her words. She didn't have to, no, because her life's perfect. She's got a house, everything's fine for her. She doesn't have to worry, and she just laughs then behind my back. I was breaking my heart, crying my eyes out, trembling, absolutely hysterical after what they'd done, after what she'd said and everything. And they knew I was in a terrible state, absolutely shocked that I was going that day. And do you know, she was in the back giggling with that horrific Daniel. And I know what was going on because I heard it. Oh, yeah. Oh, by the way, the cleaner was very nice. She was in charge of the cleaners. And she thought it was terrible what was going on. And she was going to tell Kate because Kate had left anyway. And she's nice. But, so she, that hopeful Daniel told her, oh, it's over there. She's got to go to where the full future team are to find out about housing or something. So she was going to take me on a lunch break. And then she said, oh, my God, is it where the people from the hotel were here? That lot were there. And hanging about outside. And he said, yes. Oh, I can't go there. I'm too scared. Now, this lady is not come from a sheltered upbringing at all. She wasn't privately educated like me. She's not come from an overprotected, very sheltered upbringing like I have. She's very, very streetwise. She goes out partying, clubbing, drinking with friends. She's very outgoing, not nervous at all, rough and ready, ready for anything. And she was petrified of the heroin addicts and the rough sleepers and all the other homeless people that they're going to dump me in the middle of. And she was too scared to even take me there opposite. So those are the facts on that matter, because you asked that question. I should have written it all down. I'm down on a bench now again. I didn't. I was going to write it down when I was sitting down in that cafe yesterday. I was going to write it all down when I had a table and answer your questions with a name and give you the name. Anyway, a lot of teenagers come on here. Just show me to your parents and ask them to help me if they possibly can. If you have a big house, maybe I could stay with you temporarily and they could set me up somewhere in a flat, because as they can see, I'm a decent person. I've got no criminal convictions at all. I'm not like the other homeless people. I've certainly not been to prison or got anything like that. I'm not on drugs or alcohol. I'm completely teetotal. So, and I was privately educated, so I'm like a nun, basically. So maybe I should go to a bloody monastery. I don't know, actually. I'm thinking of that. I seriously am. Anyway, the situation is with this guy now. Next Monday, I'm going to be filmed, and then they're going to put it on the TV. So it's going to take a while before anyone's going to help me. The first time it'll go out is mid-May. So that's a long time to wait, isn't it? It's awful. And nobody cares. This is the thing. And the GPs, they're useless. I don't have a decent one anymore. That's the problem, you see. He doesn't know the first thing about me. He wants to get rid of me. And he wants me to go to where the homeless people are, where they're all coming off heroin and being put on methadone. It's a methadone surgery, that is. Not for people like me. And apparently they're queuing up outside there. You get mugged and raped as you go in. So, I'm not going to go near a place like that. But he'd like to get rid of me because he thinks I'm a nuisance. Because somebody apparently from London had reported me as suicidal and said I should get help, the council or something down there, I don't know. And it's taken a long time because I was in London in August, and now he rung me last week. And all he offered me was a spider project even the name is off-putting. They are useless. They're in Chester, and these morons do nothing to help anybody. They're meant to be funded by the NHS, and they're meant to listen to you and help you. And I've been in there, and they said there's nothing they could do to help me. They were quite rude and did absolutely nothing. It's all up against a brick wall. There is no help out there, and that's the honest truth. Because if you find it, please let me know, because I'd like to know. And my email address is pink colour, baby, baba, like that, baby, button, like on a coat or a dress, the number 6 at gmail.com. And you can donate via PayPal if you would. I'd be really, really grateful if you could, because I'm bloody starving. And I've got to last 2 weeks before I get any cash at all. I'm so pissed off. And there's no way I'll beg, because I feel too ashamed. I just can't ask anyone. So I'm just managing with what they're going to feed me with. So I just feel so rotten. I feel really, really ill. And so I would be grateful if somebody could donate via PayPal. And or just email me and give me questions again, or any help, anything you can get somebody to help me. Even a legal aid solicitor would do. Fighting the council again, try and do that, because I don't know how long these videos with these men are going to take now. Oh, and by the way, somebody on here, shows they got too much time on their hands, came on here to tell me that I was lying because I'd said I hadn't met him, but I had met him or something on the video. No, I've got it wrong, obviously. I'd met one of them. The film crew that are coming, one of them had come to see me. He's a Chinese guy. It wasn't Pete. Pete sounds like that Dermot O'Leary. I have not seen him yet. But the other one was a very young Chinese man, and he met me and everything, because I signed some things about it. And so I met with him. So they had met me. I meant not him. So that's all. So that clears it up. So I'm not a liar. Get your facts straight before you accuse, and get a life. Because obviously, if that's all you've got to do, it's coming on here, obsessing with me, there's something wrong with your life, I'm telling you. Well, there's something very wrong. My life is non-existent, to be honest. It's just a misery. It's not a life. This is an existence from hell that I'm trapped in at the moment. It's awful, in severe poverty, and abused and neglected severely by Chester West and Cheshire Council, who are complete and corrupt and evil, because they have just left me to sleep outside permanently, and they say I am not on their books because I refuse to be raped by heroin addicts in a urine-drenched place. And that is called the Dean Hotel, and I don't know why the Dean in Hoole Road, Hull, who would go there in the right mind? I mean, there's actually a hotel when people pay to go in. You're going to come out with lice or something worse. That place, I'm surprised, hasn't been closed down by the health inspectors. They need to go around there, because those chalets, drenched in urine, need to be shut down. It's an absolute disgrace, it is. They're disgusting. And the staff there are horrific too. That rough blonde is horrible. But she said she was horrible in the pub next door. She was lovely, that woman in there. She said they're horrible people next door. I said, you're telling me, because she calmed me down and got me a cold drink, because I'd been traumatised so much. I came out vomiting because the stench was so bad in the room with the urine-drenched carpet. I could think about it now. I'll be really ill. Okay? Can't think about it. Let's stay calm. But I'm not going to beat around the bush. I'm just going to say it as it is, because there's no point in just making things sound better than they are. I'm just going to be brutally honest and say the truth now about everything, because what's the point of lying and making things sound better when you don't need to, do you? No, and I'm not covering for anybody. Why should I cover for them all? They've all been horrific to me anyway. It's been horrendous the way I've been treated. And that room's Chester, oh, that was terrible, the corruption there with all that. That's what he's interested in, is that, with the council and what they did to me there. Because she was very nice and she tried to keep me there. She was the only decent one. And the cleaners as well, though the cleaners are very nice. Is the manager who's left with red hair, and she was called Kate. And she was a decent human being. And she knew how anxious I was. And she just do the thing with the email and do it quietly, and I'd be kept in again for another week, or another 4 weeks. And she should do it like this, month by month, so I was safe. And as soon as she left, they kicked me out straight away, because they wouldn't renew it, because this Karis, who couldn't give a shit about me, who laughed about me, who found it was amusing. This is a manager that somebody needs to know. If somebody can do this in rooms, it's a chain. If you go to head office and report her, she's the new manager there. And she thinks it's funny to laugh at somebody who's severely disabled, who's got acute anxiety and OCD, to be laughing at me when I've been kicked out of a hotel and I'm homeless and I've got nowhere to go. And I've only been offered a place where I'm going to be raped by heroin addicts. And I'm breaking my heart there and I'm crying my eyes out. And this cold, callous woman thinks that's funny. And I heard her laughing about me, and the back, she was giggling when I was limping past, and that horrible man with her was laughing too. He's horrific, that Daniel. Ugh. Hard as nails, they were horrible people. And having to deal with people like that, it's horrendous. And anyway, it's going on the interview thing, what I've had to endure. And they're going to find out the bottom what was going on there, because they were told to be nasty to me. The cleaners told me that they did a meeting about me and they were kicking me out, and they told me to be told to be nasty. And that was just days after Kate had left. There was no meeting when she was there, no, because she didn't hate me. She kept me there. I was over 6 months with her. She kept me there for 6 months renewing it. She didn't try to kick me out, but they did. And they were saying horrible things, the cleaners had told me, about her behind her back, because apparently she was getting a divorce, which has nothing to do with me or any of the others. But she was going through a troublesome divorce, apparently. I didn't know. She never told me. It's none of my business. But they were gossiping about that and giggling about that, apparently, behind her back. So it shows what type of staff they were. No wonder she'd left. Anyway, I don't want to talk about that. It wasn't very nice being there, to be honest. It was very stressful the whole time I was there, because when I was there, you're on eggshells because you want to stay and everything, but you just keep going, don't you? You know what I mean? So you're polite going in and out, and they were hostile. Some of the staff members were okay, but that Daniel was horrendous. And then there was that other one. Oh, I can't even remember her name now. Yamila from Spain. Oh my God. She's the one that stirred all the trouble. And she's charming. She's all over you. I know my name is Yamila. I am from Spain. All over you. All charming. She's very charming with the men too. One of the men was staying there. She was in his room all the time downstairs. He was just down the corridor. And this man was parking. And he was going in there, and she was getting things. She told him, well, you can take as many drinks as you like, all the drinks that were for the breakfast. She was giving him loads of those to take to his room. I wasn't allowed any. And she was going in the room with him, giggling. So that was a bit dodgy, wasn't it? There's a lot of dodgy things. Anyway, I come out with the truth. I'm not hiding anything because I'm not there anymore, am I? So I don't have to shut up, do I? No. And I'll be coming out with a lot more soon. But to be honest, I'm bloody starving. And I've got to get back on the bus now, because I want to meet Clive and Sue, and they're the ones with the camper van. So I've got to get back there for about 6, and they're going to meet me. So that'll be cool. So they're really lovely people, And I don't know how old they are. I think they're in the 60s. They're so nice. He's got like long hair and everything, like an old rock star type thing. And she's got long hair, so long grey hair, and she wears like long flowy dresses, but she's really lovely. And they're just lovely people. They're completely safe. They're not druggies or hard or rough or anything. And they think it's terrible the way I've been treated, and they can't afford a house anymore. So that's why they're in a camper van, because they couldn't afford the bills. They said it was too much. So it's ridiculous, the way people are being charged. Anyway, I'll come off here now because I've left this a bit long again. But please give me your feedback. And because I've had to take the comments off because we were getting trolls from Chester West Council. I know it was you giving me horrific messages at the bottom. So because you knew personal things that ordinary people don't know. So you give your game away, don't you? So if you want to contact me, just do it on the email. Okay, I'll see you again. Over and out.